also known as D, and I have the privilege, to be one of the sideline reporters in the league. And what a fantastic day it is! We want to thank you for joining us as the CEBL and the City of Brampton and the CA Center come together to make an important and very exciting announcement. And as I tell everyone, there's no slow news day in the league, and certainly this week has lived up to that case. And I want to introduce our esteemed guests. We have to my left, we have the co-founder and commissioner of the CBL, Mike Moriali. We have the deputy mayor of Brampton, Harkat Singh, and the general manager of the Brampton, the newly anointed Brampton Honey Badgers, Jermaine Anderson. So if you'd give a round of applause to our guests for being here. So, like I mentioned, no slow day in the league. Before we kind of get to today's news, I want to congratulate Winnipeg on getting their newly team name, the Winnipeg Sea Bears. If you haven't seen it already, I highly recommend you look into the story behind the choosing of the name as well. A lot of time and effort was put into that. So, congratulations to Winnipeg, congratulations to the league and everyone behind the scenes for doing that. And as I said, we are here for an exciting announcement that the Honey Badgers will be relocating to where else? The City of Brampton, here at the CA Center. Now, I want to thank a colleague of mine, Jason Tom, for providing these stats, but Brampton's provided a lot of elite athletes. You know, we had the highest percentage of men and women D1 athletes coming out of Brampton. The Canadian lottery picks for the NBA, the majority have come out of Brampton. A lot of senior Olympians for the male and women's side. I believe we have one of the Tatum sisters here. Sorry, Alicia or Tamara? No? Tamara? Tamara, where are you? Don't be shy. Okay. And as most recently seen with the World Cup, our Canadian team is on the grand stage, and we have 7 players that came out of Brampton as well. So for those that are from Brampton, give yourselves a clap there. And so this is exciting news that we now have a CEBL team in Brampton. So while you're all here with us, we thought there'd be no better time than the present to formally welcome the Honey Badgers to Brampton and the CA Center. And like the league always does, we have a video for that. So Jamie, hit the play button. I mean, if that doesn't get you excited for basketball in the city, what will? Awesome. All right, been a busy guy. Just came in from Winnipeg yesterday. He's a Grey Cup champ, a TSN broadcaster, an entrepreneur, and most importantly, the co-founder and commissioner of the Canadian Elite Basketball League. Please help me welcome Mike Moriali.
I'm just going to raise this, D. Thank you, Dee. Welcome, Deputy Mayor Singh, all our invited councillors and guests and special guests, and some players in the audience, and ex-players, and hopefully future CEBL players. This is an exciting day on many levels. Number one, to be able to publicly announce bringing the Hamilton Honey Badgers to Brampton. I think this has been a market, I know this has been a market that we have had our eye on for some time, and sometimes things happen for a reason, and the opportunity that presented itself in Hamilton to bring not only the Honey Badgers, but the CEBL champion Honey Badgers to this city was incredibly exciting for us to be able to pull off. And it went with a lot of work behind the scenes, and a lot of people in this crowd today helped make this happen. So thank you for that. We're really incredibly excited to be here. This is a league, the CEBL, that is going into its 5th year. We are coast to coast. We have now 10 teams in major markets across the country. We play high level basketball. Majority of our players play in either the G League, high-level international leagues, the NBA, high-level NCAA programs, youth sports and college programs. We're able to bring all these players back home, especially our Canadians, and showcase them. And then to also turn our attention to the younger, the up-and-coming people, the youth sports players, the college players, to give them an opportunity to develop them into the next level basketball stars. And if we look at the Brampton PO region, the names jump off the page, the number of high-level players, and the Nick Skauskas of the world, and the Anthony Bennett's and the Tristan Thompsons, and the list goes on and on. Actually, one of our very own alumni, A.J. Lawson, now with the Minnesota Timberwolves, was someone who graced a CEBL court in Guelph last year. So creating this pipeline, enhancing the pipeline, working collaboratively with the National Federation of Canada Basketball as the official and only professional league in this country, we're really incredibly excited about what we've been able to provide, not only for the players, but the whole basketball ecosystem. Coaches, administrators, referees, sideline announcers, someone like Dee that really has had an opportunity to work through our system and go on to incredible things and continue to do things moving forward. So all of this is really part of creating the void or filling the void that existed in Canadian basketball. So I stand here today excited to bounce a ball come this May with the CBL champion Honey Badgers, to welcome teams from all across the country, to be able to broadcast our games not only domestically in this country, internationally across the world, in the United States. We will have some more announcements on our growing broadcast relationships as we're now moving from CBC to some bigger names, both north-south of the border and internationally. We look forward to welcoming more incredible players to now Brampton, where we can showcase them on maybe a court that they would have played on, or in a market or a city they grew up in, or in an area that they called home in their basketball development. To enhance that even further, I'm here to announce a really special opportunity that comes along with the Honey Badgers coming to Brampton, and that is the inclusion of them in the BCLAs for FIBA. So the BCLAs is the Basketball Champions League of the Americas, no different than the Champions League games that happen in soccer. The Honey Badgers, as our CBL champion, will be one of 12 teams that will look to compete to be named the club champion of the Americas. We start that battle tomorrow in training camp. We leave for Mexico on Monday. We'll be there for a few more days of training camp and then play our two opponents, one in Querétaro, Mexico, and then Real Estelí from Nicaragua. We'll then do the same as we fly to Nicaragua in January, and then we will be bringing those two teams right here to that court, or to that floor, there will be a court there, to this arena in February. We're really excited to bring international basketball to Brampton. This is a city that is diverse. This is a city that is international, and we want to be able to broadcast that Brampton name on that court all over the world. Our goal is to win. Our goal is to become the club champion in the Americas. And from that point, then we'll go on to play in the Intercontinental Cup, which will give us an opportunity to be the best team on the continent. That's the way we think at the CBL. We don't think small. We think big. We have passion behind it, and it's all because of the people that have passion for the game and the love for the game. And we really want to call on the community in Brampton to rally behind this. We will become Brampton's team. We will engage ourselves in the community. The players will come here, they will live here, they will go to schools here, they will be part of the community, they will give back to the community, because that is the most important part of being a professional athlete. So I welcome you to the home of the Honey Badgers. I'm excited that Brampton is this home. I encourage you to come to our international games in February to really cheer on not only the Honey Badgers, but our representatives of the CBL, our representatives of Canada, as we look to go get that trophy for the Americas. And I want to thank everybody again for their attendance, for the support, and I'm really incredibly excited to bring this level of basketball to here. And before I go, just to give you an idea of the type of quality of players that grace our courts, and many of them from the Brampton Peel region, and many of those players who may or may not be here, I got some lights in my eyes, but Many of them will be sitting or on a plane getting ready to go to Mexico to represent the Honey Badgers shortly. Sean Miller-Moore may or may not be here, Javon Blair, Alex Campbell, and of course there are many more, including some of our coaching staff that have spent time growing up in this region. But the level of basketball is incredibly high. Certainly the international game is unlike anything else. All you have to do is watch the World Cup to realize the intensity ratchets up when you're talking about representing your country. So we're proud to represent the Honey Badgers, the CBL, and Canada. And again, the league has done a really good job. We continue to work very hard to continue to promote the game, to build the game, to continue the rise of basketball. In the last 11 months, we have sent 9 players to the NBA and signed NBA contracts. That's really incredible. It does not happen in domestic leagues. And really, if anything, that just proves the talent that we have in this country. We've provided the platform for our players, for our coaches, and for our fans to really get behind it, and the city and the community be part of the fabric of this team. So thank you for your attendance. Go out, get some tickets, get excited about the team that's going to be bouncing in May. Come watch them in February, and let's see what we can do. Thank you very much.
Awesome, fantastic. I was gonna fix the mic, but I feel like I'm the shortest one here, so I'm just gonna save everyone the trouble. Before I introduce our next speaker, I did notice that we have some young student athletes here. I don't know how you convinced your parents to get out of school today, but we really, really appreciate you being here, and obviously a huge part of us bringing a team here is for you all. So welcome being here. Our next speaker, is the Deputy Mayor of Brampton. Let's give it up for Harkirat Singh.
Thank you, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here for this amazing announcement. My name is Harkirat Singh. I'm the Deputy Mayor for the City of Brampton. I want to acknowledge my colleagues here. We have City Councillor from Ward 7 and 8, Rod Powers. Give him a round of applause. We have our Chair of Economic Development, Gurpratap Singh Thur. And we have some staff from Community Services. I see our Acting Commissioner, Bill Boyes. I see our Director, Anand Patel, and I see ECDEV staff as well. So give them a round of applause as well. And the point acknowledging everybody from the City of Brampton is because the City of Brampton is pumped. We are excited. This is a super amazing announcement for the City of Brampton. The Honey Badgers have chosen Brampton their home, and you will be welcomed with open arms. We have a huge population that loves basketball. We have one of the youngest populations in North America. People have been asking for this. I've heard it many times at City Council, and now we'll all be get to wear those beautiful jerseys and represent our hometown Honey Badgers. So give a round of applause to everybody from the CEBL Honey Badgers who made this happen. You know, what else was also interesting is, and really drew my attention, was the fact that 75% of the players are from Canada. This is a Canadian league by Canadians for Canadians, and that's amazing that Brampton will have a participation in that. We have 10 teams, and one will be of the City of Brampton. So we're looking forward to standing shoulder to shoulder to grow basketball and also to support this wonderful team and this wonderful league. league. Also, thank you for bringing other fantastic news. We have 3 games that will be also hosted with Canada, Mexico, and Nicaragua. That'll be amazing. Glad to see we actually have a huge Nicaraguan population in the city of Brampton. So it's good to see that basketball is crossing boundaries. Everybody's sharing and enjoying this wonderful sport, and we'll continue to grow the sport together. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Singh. Now I'd like to introduce former senior men's national team member and general manager of your Brampton Honey Badgers team, Jermaine Anderson.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I want to start by thanking our commissioner, Mike Morielli, Josh, Deanne, Emma, Jason, Ansh, everybody at the league office. For what you guys have been able to do the last 2 years is absolutely incredible, so I want everybody to give them a round of applause, please. Even though he isn't able to attend the press conference today, I want to thank our team president, John Lashway. When I reached out to John in 2019 about the position, he asked me, the first thing he asked me is, why should I hire you? And I didn't have a concrete answer, but the one thing that I did tell him is that I would do everything in my power to help build the organization. And now 3 years later, we are now the reigning CEBL champion. So thank you, John, for the opportunity and for entrusting me with this position. I've been blessed and fortunate to have traveled and played all over the world. And I would say, the one thing I will say is that there's a direct correlation between the strength of a country's domestic league and a country's FIBA ranking. And if you watched the last international competition, we had 10 out of our 13 players that represented our country all had CEBL experience. This league is providing a unique opportunity for all of us to help grow the game in our country and to develop the basketball ecosystem in our country. I'm extremely excited about this competition. We have 5 players who have represented their respective national teams at the international level. We have 3 Bramptonians, and I'm getting an opportunity to work and to represent the league and our country in this competition with people that I love and respect, guys that I grew up with who are here today. We have our assistant coach, Mike Fraser. Please give him a round of applause. And we also have the man who's going to lead our group in this competition, our head coach, Sheldon Cassimy. For anybody who knows me, I'm all about family and community, and to be honest, I wouldn't have it any other way, so I want to call Sheldon up here. I might be, sorry for, come on up. But this is what the Honey Badgers are all about. We're a family. We know that Coach Schmidt and Ashton are in London right now, building that organization. But for us, it's the next man up, and the next man up is Sheldon. And I know that he's going to make us proud. And we have an incredible group of guys who are ready to help lead us. We have a good mix of youth and veteran players. And we have the right man for the job, Sheldon Cassimy.
I'm just grateful to be here and thankful to Jermaine and the entire CBL, Mike Morielli, for the opportunity. As Jermaine said, we're excited for this and, the people that we have with us, the family, the organization that will be with us, traveling into these games, and definitely going to put our best foot forward, be prepared, and, make sure we get, the best outcome we could possibly get, which is hopefully wins. So thank you.
I just want to say one more thing to the Brampton community. We're looking forward to your support. By supporting us, you're supporting the growth of our game, and we're looking forward to seeing you all out in February. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Fantastic. It's not every day that a city inherits a championship-winning team, so that's great for the city of Brampton. All right, so at this opportunity, I want to open up the room for questions and answers for the press and attendees, so if anybody should have a question.
Yes, Jessica Durham here. What's the economic impact anticipated to be on the city?
Mike, I'm going to give you the time.
I'm not sure I can give you the proper numbers. I just know that historically, based off of what we've been able to do across the country, we anticipate there'll be thousands of people in attendance, over 10 regular season games plus potential playoff games. That's for the regular season. Certainly doesn't include the international games that we're bringing here, which again, the eyeballs alone will be massive through all the FIBA channels, through our channels, domestic channels. And then of course, we didn't speak about this yet, and I don't want to put pressure, but I will. Our goal is to become, the top team in our grouping. And if that does happen, we will be hosting 2 more games here in March, and against probably some South American teams as we will switch over some divisions. So the exposure alone over the next several months will be massive. And then as we get into the regular season, having people in this building and eating and getting entertained and spending money, and us being able to deliver community programming, et cetera, I think, numbers aside, this is really a tremendous opportunity for the community to get engaged in something that's meaningful and for us to be able to give back.
May I ask a follow-up? Yes. What economic infrastructure or cultural factors led you to choosing Brampton over all the other cities in this great province?
Well, selecting cities is interesting. It takes time. And in many cases, you don't go to the market you want to go to right away, because as you build a league and you start from scratch, you have to actually feel yourself out to make sure you can do it. We started this league as a single entity. So we started with 6 teams in 2019, all under one owner. In 2020, we added another team in Ottawa, and then COVID hit. And instead of folding up shop, which would have been incredibly easy and saved a lot of money, we were the first league in Canada to play in a bubble, before the NHL did, before anybody did. And quite frankly, it was incredible and intense and amazing and difficult. That followed the following year. We were the first league in the entire country to invite fans back to arenas. So we've been at the forefront. I'm the old guy in the group. My staff are all young and hungry and excited and work hard. And whatever people say about the new generation, they must have skipped the people that we hired, because they work incredibly hard to make this happen. So as we look, Brampton was always on the map. Brampton has everything you would want in a city. Certainly an arena is a very important part of it, and that being available is a very important part of it. But also the diversity is incredibly important. The way that the city looks and feels and who's part of the fabric of the community is important. Basketball's relevant. Basketball's a global game. Basketball's a game that everyone recognizes. So all these factors come together. It doesn't hurt that we have a team in Scarborough either, on the east side of Toronto. And now we have our west side. And I have a feeling, well, I already know there's a battle, because those are the 2 teams that met last year in the championship and on a crazy finish that ended, in dramatic fashion. So we've already created rivalries. We're happy to be close to Toronto. We don't need to be downtown Toronto. We're happy here. We're happy in Scarborough. And we know we can cater to the community at large.
Anybody else?
Hey, Mike. So with your background in football, both as a player but also as an executive, and building a national league, how much does that go into your thought process, and also the vision for things happen every year? There's constant evolution, constant challenges and obstacles, but how much does the background in football go into the thinking for where the CEBL is at right now and ultimately where it's going into the future?
Great question, Tarek. So for those of you who don't know, I spent 12 years as a football player in the CFL, and then became the vice president of marketing of the Players Association, eventually the president of the Players Association. So I spent a very long time in the largest and only domestic league in this country, and that was the CFL, before the CEBL came around, before the CPL, the Canadian Premier League, came around. So I knew what it was like to sit in the stands as a 5-year-old kid in Ivor Stadium and be in awe of the players on that field. And that gave me the desire and the hope and the courage that one day I can do it. So, it doesn't have to be limited to football. They happen to be here first, but I learned a lot on all sides as a player, as an executive, as a union member, as a broadcaster. It was really important to me to provide that opportunity to the basketball community. Men, women, boys, girls, it really doesn't matter. Sport is powerful. Sport is a unifier, and sport brings not only people together, but it creates a sense of pride. And, a sports team in Brampton will be followed by a proud fan base of Brampton people. And I'm really incredibly proud of that, and in all the markets we play in. And you're right, sport is difficult. And in the last several months, we have really realigned what the CEBL stands for. We've noticed quite quickly that we're a big market league. We do very well in Edmonton and Montreal and Ottawa and Vancouver and all these places. And Brampton's a big market city. It's a top 10 city in the country. So it deserves basketball. And I'm just excited that I had that experience in football to allow me to extend it to basketball and hopefully provide those opportunities that were provided to me.
Anybody else? Oh.
Hi, my name is Michael Jovian, the Executive Director of Boys and Girls Club Appeal. The question is, it's community relations is obviously going to be key as we see moving forward. So what can we do for you as community organization, as not-for-profits, to ensure that you're not only successful and thriving forward, but viable within the communities for a long-term basis? As we've already heard, basketball is a thriving, growing sport in Brampton. What can we do more to make it even better for you and for our youth?
Well, I will say I don't get a lot of those "what can we do for you" questions. Thank you. This is encouraging. You can tell us what you need. You can explain to us what the kids need, what the youth needs, what programming needs to be done, and we will do everything in our power to try and give that back to you. I think that's probably the best. We don't want to just create programs to create programs. We want to make sure that they're effective, that they're meaningful, that they actually do all the things they're intended to do. So I will take all of your support and certainly your number and your email, and we will find out more about that. But truthfully, it's a great question because often you make choices and you don't know what the end result will be. You hope it'll be good. But if we can engage with the stakeholders and certainly the young people in this community early and often, then we're able to make some meaningful change or to help in some meaningful way. So thank you for that question and for the offer as well.
Anybody else? Okay, I have a quick question. Jermaine, I'm going to ask you this question ahead of the BCLAs. We had success last year. We had a great team to watch. As you kind of look on our past experience, what is your approach in roster building?
To be honest, the first thing for me personally is finding players who have played recently. So there are guys who finished up in South America, guys who are cut from their G League teams, guys who played in the November window who were available. So it was targeting those guys. But I think with any FIBA team, the focus should always be on domestic talent. And we have a good group of Canadian guys who are hungry. Some are choosing to stay home to be around their family. There are a couple guys who are in between jobs. And just identifying those guys, and I think we have a really good group, and then obviously mixing in imports who have experience who could also help some of our younger players. So it's just identifying guys who have played recently, and guys with South American playing experience, and I think we have a really good team. I think we're going to surprise a few people.
And then Mike, for you, you've taken games to cities that we currently don't have teams in. What were you able to take away from those BCLA games in untapped markets?
Yeah, so just for some background, last year was our first year playing in the Champions League for FIBA. We brought our Edmonton team that had won the championship back-to-back, and we actually brought our BCLA games to Calgary, a market that we weren't in, and a market that quite frankly doesn't like Edmonton, but we wanted to really expand our footprint, and we, a bit of a test case for that market, a bit of a test case for that venue, and it worked out incredibly well. We built a fan base, and that fan base led to what is now the Calgary Surge, which will be playing out of the venue at Winsport, where we brought the BCLA games to, and we were very successful in Calgary. Our team went 2-0 and really beat up on the teams we played against. We ended up tied for first in our division, 3-3. We had beat up on the Esteli team, which we're playing again this year, twice, but we just lost out on points. So I think what we learned is the intricacies of FIBA. FIBA is a different beast. Jermaine spent his whole life playing FIBA. He knows he's the right person for the job. I have no doubt he's going to put together a team and teach them exactly what it means to play international basketball. But be able to bring basketball to different communities, it's really exciting because what you see back from fans, and especially the youngsters, and that kind of gleam in their eye and the excitement is really what basketball is all about. It really is a unifier.
Fantastic. Any more questions from our audience? Okay, so I'm going to use this opportunity to wrap this up. I once again want to thank everyone for joining us here this afternoon. I want to thank the staff of the CA Center for helping us put this event together. Thank you to Deputy Mayor Singh for your kind words and support, as always. And I also want to thank some folks in the room, the Peel District School Board, the Boys and Girls Club of Peel, Kids Sports Ontario, Resilient Kids Canada, and Rec for Youth. So, once again, congratulations, Brampton, on getting the team and the BCLAs. Tickets are now on sale for the BCLAs in February. You can place your $50 deposit now for the Brampton Honey Badger season seats. Once again, thanks for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your day.